So I want to ask you before, so we can end this first part of it. I want to ask you about. You said that they identify with the black woman, although the woman's not black, but you said they identify with her. So I then want to ask you, is there a same kind of situation that we as black men have like that? Like we see Jesse Williams and Jesse Williams marries a white woman and we identify with him because, well, he's black, even though he looked like Justin Timberlake. Do we do this? Do black men, do you know of this happening amongst black men?
Oh, yeah. The thing is, the approach that the black man takes is different from the approach the black woman takes. You're not going to tell me that black men don't strive to be white men, because they do. It's just that the interest is higher and more appealing to black women because of the dynamics amongst the male and female genders. You understand what I'm saying? Amongst the male and female genders, it's going to manifest itself amongst black women in the form of their appearance. It's going to manifest itself with black men in the form of their behavior. You know, whether they want to talk differently, change their voice a little bit, you know, and appeal more to a white tonation, or it may be the manner in which they want to deal with their females might be from a more primitive European aspect or construct than that of the black love archetype that we've demonstrated throughout the years when uncompromised and left to our own vices. So you're not going to see the black man put on a Tom Cruise wig. You're not going to see that. But you may see a demonstration of the white man's hostility vicariously working through the black man. You may hear it in his tonation when he changes his tone. You may see it in his disposition. I've seen black men have relationships with white women, pardon me. I've seen black men have relationships with white women. And this is where you get the term the sunken place, where you see black men, if you watch that movie, Get Out, that's a prime exemplification. That's a prime example.
But wait, that's what I mean. Y'all will do that. You said this is where you get this term. No, you got it from a misuse of the from this movie, which was made by this mixed guy who's married to a white woman. So there would be no reason that he was making that movie to say black men who date white women are in the sunken place. That is not what he was saying. It wouldn't make any sense.
But what we cannot deny is the joke was that black man obviously wasn't acting like a black man. And this was an example of a black man overwhelmed.
So you just still
because remember, I've answered your question, so I don't want you to create a new conversation until we make it clear that what I said has been addressed. And you said, in what instance, to paraphrase, do you see the black man following suit in the manner in which black women may say, hey, I want to be in the image and likeness of the white woman, or I want to be in the image and likeness of white culture? You said, so where do black men do it? Almost as if it doesn't exist. So an example would be provided by the imagery of the movie Get Out. No matter what racial stock, no matter what racial stock,
back and hear what my question was. My question said, give me an example of when a black man utilized a mixed man who then went out and married a white woman and agreed and identified with that man's life.
Say it again, my brother.
Black men, any black man, saw a mixed man get a white woman and identify with that man's life.
A black man sees a mixed man
identifies woman or date a white woman, and they identify with that man and be like, you go, bro.
And they identifying with the mixed man?
Yes. A biracial man get a white woman, you know, like Blake Griffin. Like, name the time that black men was like, you go, Blake Griffin.
Ask you a question about this mixed man. Is this mixed man leaning towards white culture or black culture?
Meghan Markle is leaning towards white culture. So
okay,
you need
so the person that they're identifying with has the past and is using the past to dibble and dabble or indulge in white culture, correct?
Yes, and we are identifying with this person who will not call themselves black.
They'll be following a white man. And in that case, let's go back to the movie, because you're only going to, in this particular conversation,
real life. Meghan is not a movie. Meghan is not a movie. This is a real chick. I'm not going to let you misidentify what this man's reason for making.
But let me ask you something, brother. It's called satire. And when you're using or employing satire, it's because something is factually relevant. Something's factually relevant to the real world, which makes you laugh, not because of the principle that it's just a good joke. The satire that's being employed stipulates that this is funny because we see the relevancy of this joke in real life day to day. So the satire employed in that movie, though it is a movie, attested to something that transpires in the real world that we all identify with, which tells us that black men too can be lost and lose themselves in white culture or want to indulge in white culture to desperate extremes. And when that black man, something happened to that black man, all of a sudden he became a homie again, and we laughed because we said he was acting like other than himself in kind, and he had to snap out of it. That the movie didn't create. Hold on, the movie did not create that. That's something that already existed that we finally seen portrayed in a movie. Right or wrong?
In the movie was not quote unquote acting white. The man dating that woman was not any of that. That was the point.
You lost my point. So let me show you the point. The point of the matter is black men can lose themselves in European culture just like black men. And hold on. The point was, show me when, now you're saying, show me when a black man wants to emulate the
life example. That's all I asked for. This should be short. When you ask me for a life example,
I'm able to tell me how to answer the
you
question.
asked me for a life example of the corn chips. I just sent you to the place and you saw it. It wasn't my thought.
I didn't ask for that, sir. You suggested it to me. I said, okay. You suggested it to me. I said things about it, but I didn't ask for it.
Yes, because you were saying that that can't be a large number. It's a small number, so why address it? Yet when it came to
this, I didn't ask for it.
Any example, you could only find the movie. If you said this movie is satire of real life, I'm asking you to just name one for me. A real person.
I got a homeboy named John that we make fun of him. We call him White Boy John, even though he's a black man.
Move on then.
What is that example gonna do for you? And it's a fact too. I know I could call 2 people now and ask them about White Boy John. I can call 2 people right now. That's not gonna do that for you.
You're right. You have an example of a personal example, and I would you give a personal example, I guess, of mine, and it can destroy any argument you have as we talk, even though what you talk about.
Oh no! What I did was
that people know of.
Right now, you're pissed off about the royal wedding because of the mixed race woman.
I'm not. Oh no, I'm not pissed off about the wedding.
I'll take off pissed off. Your example is about the mixed woman and black women identifying with a mixed woman. But what I'm saying is, if the woman wasn't mixed, then we still will be dealing with some of the same stipulations. But the fact that the woman is mixed, the argument isn't so much that these black women want to emulate a mixed woman. The argument is these black women are emulating a woman who got the pass to get into that culture. That's what it is, because they already were emulating the disposition that she's getting away with. So the
I'll agree with that. So you're saying black women deep down.
The conversation isn't black women want to be mixed. It's black women want to be white, because the woman that's mixed, you said, don't even identify with being black. So
then now let me ask that. Let's have short answer. So you're saying what you just said, that black women deep down would like to be able to pass and put themselves in a higher position in white society. Is that what you just said?
The conversation is about the black women who want to do that.
That's all I'm asking.
I don't generalize black women because I'm around too many that don't want to be white.
But
so
you were generalizing them earlier.
That by my own experience.
But you literally were generalizing them earlier. You were generalizing how many of them even come to that conclusion. That was a generalization.
I was speaking in context to the conversation that you proposed to me before we got on the phone that we later indulged in on this live stream. So to make it clear, if there was any discrepancies then, I don't mind there being a discrepancy. Luckily for us, you was able to voice what the discrepancy is so I can rectify or remedy the matter. I am not making generalizations about black women. I'm speaking on the subject matter that exists in this dialogue, which is the black women, definite article, the black women who want to be white or are culturally lost or displaced. That's the conversation I'm having. Not all black women, not black women in general, but the black women who suffer from that particular issue. That's who I'm talking about.
Okay, like the idea of saying, like somebody wrote in the comment section, in your comment section, they said, Tommy wants to be white. Yet, if a black woman is doing this, it's not a bad thing for her. So you can put black men down even if they're not doing anything to try and be white.
Who are these people putting black men down? Who's that person talking? Do you know them personally?
No. What I'm saying is,
they're black or white.
Whoever that person is, what I'm saying is, it's what we use.
It matters because you're talking as though black people, it's okay for black people to do it. No, do you even know if that person is black that said that? You don't know them from a hole in the wall.
I can only go by what they're saying.
Well, it wasn't cool when I talked about my homeboy John, but it's cool for you to talk about an anonymous person in the chat and qualify them for your argument.
I can't
hear a reference about the person in the chat
because if I said I was at a club and somebody got hung at the club, if everybody saw it, then that's a discussion we all can say really happened. If I say it and I'm the only one who saw it, it just sounds like I'm using a contrary argument. So you can see what the person wrote. If I wouldn't just say, well, that's what I just
matters if a black person is saying it based on your argument.
Why? Because what was my argument?
Your argument is it's okay for the black man to be condemned before his own when he's with a white woman, but the double standard is when the black woman finds herself in the same scenarios, we make concessions to her. This has been the argument, the whole conversation. So in order for you to reference someone in the chat room, they have to be black first for it to make sense as part of your narrative. And if we don't know if they're actually black, we need not bother ourselves or beguile each other with this idea because we don't even know what race that person is. They could just be trolling from Asia for all we freaking know. We don't know who that is. So let's not even reference the person in the chat in respect to this conversation because it's not a good reference. I'm using what you're using. It's just more direct and accurate right now. I don't want to use the chat room people as a reference.
When before this came up, I used several others. I used Maya Angelou. You've never heard anybody condemn her work or her position when she married not one, but two. You've never heard anybody say anything about Diane Carroll.
You don't think someone condemned Maya Angelou for dealing with someone other than her race?
All I know is
you haven't heard it. Is that possible? You think black people all over the world who looked up to Maya Angelou just went with it?
Brother, that's why I asked the audience and you, because I can only go by my standpoint. But then if you have a different take, you've seen something different, I'd welcome it. That's why I asked it in the form of a question, not said it in the form of a statement. I asked the question of everyone watching and you. So if anybody knows, wait a minute, bruh, they put her down bad. You got to look at this article. You got to look at that article. Then I'd be like, oh shit, I didn't know.
And who's they? When we say they put it down, that's black people or that's media? Who are we talking about?
I said they, and then I said, go look at this article or that article, or because I point out things that as a whole, it's the same way as what happened with Todd Gurley.
What? Who are these people you talking about that's mad at these people for having interracial relationships? What are we talking about? Black women in general? Are we talking about black men and black women? Are we talking about white media with a black writer as the guy who's authored the article? What are we talking about here? You're not going to tell me anybody that's black or that's in the black community, be they brother or sister,
ask me what I'm talking about. I'll tell you.
Relationship. I'm sure someone is.
What am I talking about? Now I'll tell you. But then you ask the question, and then you continue to filibuster the question.
I'm filibustering. Go ahead, my brother. Then I'll fall back. I'll listen.
You ask, who are these people? I'm saying I was talking about there's several different articles who are written by us, who are consumed by us. And as we consume them, we will say, yes, just like with Kanye West, just like how you pointed out, The Sunken Place. You referenced a movie. That doesn't mean every black person thinks like that, but you did reference the movie. So if you can reference pop culture, I'm doing the same thing. And you referenced a man who's mixed, who's married to a white woman who made the movie and still were able to reference that movie.
Well, in fact, he understands the crisis more.
Yet I couldn't say that the person who wrote the comment in the comment section, whether they be black, white, or whatever, they understand the crisis more. So their comment is correct because they understand.
The person that's the director is the epitome of your whole focal point because you're talking about the mixed child. So the director is mixed and he's the one projecting these ideas to the masses, and he employs satire, which made it funny.
Because who bought into it?
That is funny because it's coming from a place of relevancy. And
yet who bought into it though?
Satire.
Who are the people who bought into the mixed man as you are going? Because he didn't say that's what it was. But I'm going to let you be able to tell him what it was. Who bought into it? Because you don't hear white people sitting up here saying that black guy's in the sunken place. That's Negroes' words.
I saw black and white people in the theater. Though they bought the ticket, so they bought into it.
They didn't know what it was when they bought the ticket, man. Come on now.
So how the hell do these movies sell this fast? How did it sell so much? It sold millions, $30 million more than they even anticipated.
You went to go see it. You didn't know what was in it. You wanted to go see it because everybody said, man, you need to go see this movie. But you didn't know that was the message.
So you mean to tell me nobody went to the movie?
Know what the message was when I went to go see it. I didn't know how Infinity War was going to end. That's why I went to go see it.
What does the second week of movie sales stipulate? The second week is the most significant week in movie sales.
They have staying power because usually what happens is, and what makes the second week so important.
Let's do it.
What makes the second week so important is because just like the movie that just came out, Solo, the first week will do well if the consensus that comes out, people say, oh shit, it sucked. Word of mouth will kill it. Deadpool 1 made a bunch of money because the people who saw it week 1 said it was great.
That's right.
So week 2, people's like, well, shit, I need to go see it too.
Facts.
That's what I'm saying, but they didn't
exactly.
They were that's what happened with Get Out.
To see week 2 without some kind of context.
So what I'm saying is the people in week 1, the people's like, oh my God, y'all got, because I was one of the people who did it, and I was one of the people who did a review. I was like, you got to go see this movie. It's fucking movie.
And let me do this real quick for the people in the chat. I want the people in the chat to type in the name of the article that Tommy Sotomayor used that he said he referenced. Type in the name of the article or type in the author or the writer of the article. Hold on, y'all. Tommy, don't say nothing. I want y'all to type in the name of the article that Tommy referenced or type in the writer of the article that Tommy referenced. And tell me if that writer is actually black or white. In fact, tell me what the name of the article is, because I ain't hear the name of the article. And you know what? I know you didn't hear the name of the article. But since you support the brother, tell me the name of the article that he actually referenced, because I referenced a movie based on the fact that it identified with contemporary politics and other topical issues. Again, hold on. Don't worry about it.
Tommy's got a gay boy. You're not talking about that audience that you're reading right there. Who that's every damn thing they're saying on your side. My side ain't
talking about. Hold on.
The whole time.
About your audience
of trolls. Tommy Crispy Sotomayor. Every third comment where
that's not the point that I'm making right now, though. The point I'm making is
your audience can do whatever they want to. I asked them earlier to just be honestly, and you're gonna keep saying stupid shit like that. It's not gonna show up on my screen. I'm not doing that.
Brother, let me explain.
We're gonna sit up there and watch your audience just be big ass kids, and we're trying to have a real fucking discussion.
I dig it, but I gotta go back to your audience. I'm asking your audience, because one person hasn't done it yet. Name the article that Tommy Sotomayor referenced, or name the writer that wrote the article that Tommy Sotomayor referenced. Put some money on that, because I know you ain't got a name. You ain't got a name of the article.
Do him a favor. Any of the articles, you can go and find that woman who wrote that book on how to catch white men. You can go in all those articles. Go ahead and put them in there.
Yeah. But that's not the answer. The answer is name the one that he specifically named.
I didn't specifically name one. No, I did not. I asked you.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is this. What we do have is an actual movie with an actual reference.
But I can do what you just said. That ain't right, man. You
that
didn't
is right. It's all fair.
Ask me, can you do this? You said name the thing that I didn't do.
Brother,
I can several times.
Specifically out your mouth. This is not fair. You can't for you to say, hey, brother, I'm the one gave you a reference. And then when I asked the people, what the hell did he actually reference? You turn around and make it clear, well, I didn't actually give you a name of an article or the name of the writer. So if you say that, hold on. If you say
that's the one thing I don't like when you do. When you just start talking earlier, when I was speaking, after I let you speak for 10 minutes, I said 2 words and you stopped me and I said, hold on, that's not fair. You can't do it. You said, no, I'm not gonna let you say that. And I stopped. You keep over talking shit I didn't say, and that ain't cool. And then when I tell you keep on going. I'm like, come on, bro, don't do that.
You gave the name of the article and the name of the writer?
I didn't say that at all. We weren't discussing this.
How did you give a reference that's appropriate to the conversation if you can't tell me a name of the article or the writer?
This I didn't when we were talking about the article. I was asking you to find one. I said, if you can find an article of somebody black going along and cheering for the mixed person getting a white person, because I can show you articles of black chicks following along with mixed chicks and black chicks dating white men and cheering for it. I can also show you the opposite. Black men dating.
Hey, do me a favor. Do me a favor, brother. You could take out the whole chat since you're cutting out my chat room. Take out the whole chat room.
Well, no.
Take out the whole chat room, because if you want to be biased like that, I don't mind, but make it fair.
My side ain't calling you. I gave your. First off, let's.
You could cut it out, because what we agreed to was to divide everything 50-50. So if it's not going to be 50-50, knock out the whole chat and let you and I
moderate your chat room, and they putting out my real motherfucking name.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just eliminate the chat altogether. Take your chat out, and I take my chat out.
It's not gonna be on my screen. You can believe on yours. It ain't gonna be on mine. I got that right.
Good. Because what I want to explain to you is I don't want to only have Tommy Sotomayor calling my channel. I don't want to put that. There's no purpose of me having my channel up if I'm only gonna put your comments.
Your comments show back up when they on the replays. Every comment on your page just shows up on the replay. Literally.
And hold on, brother. This is the screen. So the screen is going to show up on the replay, and they're going to have to toggle back and forth between the chat room on the side and this one, when in fact, all you have to do is eliminate your chat. Right or wrong?
No, what did you say earlier?
What's that? Tell me. I'll listen. What I said earlier.
I'd be a man of my word. If I told them to get to a certain place, then I'm going to do it. Now, what the fuck I look like telling them people I'm going to take your money and say, fuck you, when they're watching on my channel, not yours.
Well, you have to explain to them is you made an agreement with me that we're splitting the screen and we're sharing the forum 50-50. Sharing the forum is if you're showing your chat members, I can show my chat.
I'm not putting it up. If you ain't going to moderate your stuff, I'm not going to do this. If you
don't leave yours up there. Don't leave yours up there. While I'm debating you, I don't have nobody else moderating my chat room because it's just me. So I don't want to be them while you're talking.
I'm not going to have that scrolling on my stuff that people are paying for of your people talking about your ass blown out and talking about my kid. No, I'm not doing that. Hey, we can have the discussion. If that bothers you, I can stop the whole thing.
Hey, brother.
I don't find that either. But I'm not going to put that crap. Y'all like drama and dumb shit. I don't. That we don't get nowhere with people doing that. And the fact that your audience think that shit is cool is dumb. That makes sense.
I hear you, brother.
I can watch people write about my personal life and then I'm gonna replay it. It's not like they're talking about the debate. If they were, I'd understand it. If they were talking about how stupid my argument was, I'd understand it. They're not. I'm gay every 5 seconds and I'm supposed to replay that? No. Why would you even ask me to do that?
I hear you, brother. So what I'm saying is this. Eliminate your chat so no chats are showed. That's it. Because we agreed that we were sharing the forum, and the sharing of the forum is at an exit. Once you say, I'm only going to show my chat and I'm not going to show yours, because that's undermining my platform, because the people on my platform have the right to engage each other too and see their chat. They can't see their chat.
Wait.
I understand that you feel like people, I understand that you're saying people are coming after you. And so if I fail to moderate it, take down yours, and I don't mind if mine is not here, but it's not fair to my platform for them to see yours and not see mine.
See me.
Huh?
When you speak, they only see your face, not me. This is my photo. What they're seeing when I talk is my photo. My photo just includes.
Are you able to take the chat off or not?
Yes, but I'm not, because
why would you not take it off? Because I'm the one that asked for it to be on. So long as mine was on, you can replay the video. I asked for both chats to be on. That's what I asked, and you said, "Hold on, I'm working on it, brother." So now, since you don't like my chat forum, and you say I'm not moderating good, and I know I'm not moderating good because I'm invested into the conversation. People are talking about me negative in your chat room. You're not kicking everybody out that's talking about me.
I can stop the show, but I'm not. And we can cut this short. I'm being very straightforward. These people paid for this. We can stop the show and I'll just go talk to them because they paid for it.
Be that as it may. So then what we can do,
my picture. Because my chat is only my picture.
No problem. What we can do, we can stop this, since this is the name of the game that you want to play, because I came in under the pretense we were sharing the forums 50-50. You're not going to leave your chat up there and undermine my audience.
This is something I know how to do. That I know how to do this. You can't even do it on your end. So don't tell me that I'm supposed to do this. I just said you can share it on both, which you are doing. You are broadcasting on yours. I didn't stop that. As a matter of fact, when you talk, nothing shows up. It would be different if there was a chat that showed up when you talk. There's nothing that shows up when you speak, only when I speak. So I put something up as a part of my picture, and you're now telling me what I should put on it?
Well, I'll tell you this. What we agreed to per our phone conversation was that we was going to use your platform to conduct the sharing like we have done in the previous settings where we have shared platforms. So that being the case, what you said is irrelevant, because when the video was on, I said, brother, do you want to share the chat rooms? Mine's and yours. You said, hold on, buy us some time while I get it straight right now. And so now it has evolved where people are being very mean to you and you don't like it. And I understand that. I understand that.
It's just like when you were talking about being mean, but I said we're filibustering and we're not getting to the point. Listen, unlike a lot of other people, if I'm going to do something, I would like for it to just go and be decent and in order. And if we can't be decent in order, then I'll cut it down. I don't mind. I could have done my own thing and would have got the same numbers. It doesn't bother me. But I'm not going to keep arguing about things that I've said I'm not going to do.
This happens every debate.
That crap. My real life gets fucked with by people. If you think that's okay to keep broadcasting, I don't. I'm down to my fucking 100 channel because these people keep
talk bad about me.
These people have tried to fuck up my life. I'm not getting involved in this shit no more. I'm not. Having people get their rocks off on my life, I'm not doing it. So if you want that, you can do it. I'm not doing it. They ain't fucking with you like they're doing.
I'm concerned with people talking negative about you because I don't participate in that negative talk. What I'm saying is, since your conversation is this, my brother, please listen, my brother. Since your conversation is this, I don't want to have this replayed on my platform and see those comments. Well, brother, let me talk. Every time you talk, I can see those comments, and all of those are not positive. So since the name of the game is we don't want negativity being prevalent where people can see the negative words.
That isn't what I said.
Okay, I'll listen.
You're doing it again, and I don't like when people do that. Very damn direct. I said, I don't care if they're arguing against what I'm saying or what we're debating, because that's what we're supposed to be here fucking for. But not for people to sit up there talking about my asshole been blown out or talking about my kid and making profiles talking about my daughter sucking dick. And if you don't understand why I don't want that shit on my replays, then we don't need to talk. Instead of telling your audience, hey, look, you paid to see us talk about this, not to sit up here and keep calling nigga crispy every 5 fucking seconds when you're not saying his argument is wrong. He the nigga lying. What he's saying is wrong. No, I'm supposed to sit up there and watch this nigga talk about my damn kid all day and the shit's a joke. I wouldn't watch nobody and laugh at people talking about your daughter like that. And the fact that you're telling me, well, we should just let that go. I mean, it's just.
I didn't say that. That's incorrect.
So then why would you turn around and say, well, you said you don't want negativity? No, I said these.
That's incorrect.
You just said that I said I didn't want negativity and people said negative stuff about me. Ain't nobody put shit. There's nobody on my side that said shit about your personal life. Not once.
That's a lie. I've seen several, and some of them just went by just now while I was listening to you talk.
Let you go see it. Let one person say what your real name is or say something about your daughter on my side. We'll go do that, because I'm not going to sit here and argue, because I've been watching both sides. And if they said some fucked up shit.
Both sides accurately enough, because I've seen several personal attacks on yours, and I hate those.
What I'm going to do now is stop and go look, because you just blamed their audience, my audience. So I'm going to go off on my audience if they did it. But I'm not going to let you say that when they're saying it hadn't happened, and I've been looking. I pay attention to both. So I'm going to look and see.
What kind of childish stuff is this? Listen,
I'm going to go look.
You said you had no references for what you said, but you said you had references. This is what you said. You said you had references.
You like to play a shell game with a discussion.
Not a shell game. This all happened. You always defer.
Didn't. Then you brought up you didn't give an example when before we even got to that, I was trying to give you one because you said I didn't, and that's not what happened.
My brother, did you come out your face and say you gave a reference from articles and an author? Did you say that?
No, not when we were talking about that part. I didn't.
Did you ever say it at all?
For one.
Did you ever say it at all?
No, not there. At that point, I was asking you.
I didn't even ask you where. Did you say it at all? That's the question. At all.
When I did give one.
And so what was the name of the article, the name of the author?
I'm not going to do this now. You're going to go back and look at the comments.
Got it.
Keep on just bullshitting with the
You do this every time you get caught out there.
No, I didn't.
Start complaining about the chat room every time your ass get caught.
This is too.
You do this all the time, Tommy. You do this all the time.
You like fucking with people when you talk, man, and it becomes unproductive. It's cute for y'all people. That's why you got the kind of audience that sit around talking about people getting their ass blown out and 12-year-old girls.
I've never seen no one in my ears talk like that until I did something with you.
Oh, come on. I've watched the comments.
I've never seen someone say something about someone's ass being blown out ever in my life. I've never seen it until I talked to Tommy. It's the way you talk. You so ratchet in your conversations. You bring those type of people to the conversation because the way you deliberate. You ever think about that? You curse so much and use so much profanity and say so much negative things. You don't think you're going to attract those type of people eventually?
You're right. It's my fault. So what I should...
No. It's not your fault that people are disrespecting you.
I bring people to talk about my daughter and try to fuck up my shit.
I don't think that's respectful for people to do that. But what I'm saying, that's over the top. That's over the top. But as far as the other negativity...
I'm ratchet. I brought ratchet people over here. You're right. I'm ratchet and I brought ratchetness too.
Well, I would agree with that.
No reason.
You said yourself you have a problem behaving.
Because once you have the discussion with me, it's just going to be ratchet because that's who I am.
No, so you'll be ratchet periodically.
Huh?
You'll be ratchet periodically. You're not always ratchet. You
have apparently
and ratchet conversations.
I'm bringing
this on yourself that you have a problem behaving.
You said I'm bringing this on myself, so I'm going to stop it because when I have this conversation without this other shit, without the pro-blacks and all this bullshit, I don't have this happening. I don't. That's the great thing about my platform. I don't have this when I'm having a regular conversation. I don't.
You be melting down because of a chat room of people that don't know you.
I'm melting down because you telling me I should put it up. I told you let me keep on.
I didn't tell you should put it up. I said you should take it down. Stop.
No, you're telling me I should put yours up or take mine down. I'm telling you what I'm not doing.
Say that again. Say that again.
And if you can't respect that,
what did I ask you to do?
We could have continued to go on with the conversation.
Say that again. What did I ask you to do?
You said either put both up or take both down. And I told you not. Those people paid for it. You said it yourself earlier, and it's just my picture. It's not like all they see. It's not like on your replays, they will only see my shit. That's a lie. They will actually on your replays only see your comments on the side as it plays.
Those comments are consistent with people, according to you, that came over from you as well as my people as well, by your own admission. But the reality is, if we share a platform, we share it in equal capacity. Because I said I didn't mind if we funnel everything through you. I said I do not mind. So since that's the case, I'm at your disposal. So since you have changed the conditions, then what we'll do when we talk again, what we'll do is what I suggest what we do when we talk again is simply use no chat from the very beginning, since you can renege on your word, my brother, because you switch your word, my brother, and that's what I have a problem with. I said word because you let these chat people go to your brain.
You can broadcast at the same time. I'm not gonna let you say something else that was made up. When we started, you said, "Can you put my chat on the stream?" I said, "Sure." That's what I said. But when we were starting, I said, "No." I just broadcast. I can read the fucking chat and put it up there. I can read the text message. I'm not gonna let you do this. You do that to some other people, and I guess it's funny. That shit's irritating.
Text message, but we actually have a live video here where I asked you to put up both chats.
Oh no, I said to you. You said what I agreed to before we came on. What I agreed was you can broadcast it as much as you like, and I said, and then when I'm done, you can take what I have and put it up. I said that. I didn't say we're the whole thing, because if it was that way, we would have done it via Skype, because then you would have had the same thing on both screens. We don't have the same thing on both screens. My screen, my people see something completely different than yours. When you talk, there's nothing on the fucking screen. It's just you. When I speak, they see what my audience sees. So there's no way we can have the same thing. It's impossible unless you got on Skype and just shared what I have. Then you'd be correct, but that's not true.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'll wait for you to give me the name that you said both. Let's go for the one where you say you actually gave us a name of an article that you referenced earlier on. What was the name of the article that you referenced, and what was the name of the person who wrote the article? You can give me 1 out of 2. I don't even need 2 out of 2.
First, I referenced, and I'm going to give you several articles. Well,
no. Make sure it's something that you said during the course of this conversation. Don't just give me something new now. Give me the name of the article.
You said I never said it.
Oh, you never said it. But now this is the problem. Hold on, this is the problem. This is the problem. Let me show you the problem.
I'm not going to sit and argue to be arguing.
You're going to do it again, ain't you?
Bro, you got to have a good day, man. I'm not doing it.
You know, Tommy said that he gave a reference. Yo, he think he's so slick. Don't worry, y'all, because when I edit the video, I'm going to show you how the man said, I gave you references. And his chat room stupidly said, he gave us references. And I let it slide. Then I said, you know what? Since y'all said he gave us references and I'm not giving a reference, all I gave was a reference that was relevant. It was a movie that employed satire based on political and topical issues. And topical issues, the key word is topical, because topical means that there's a relevancy to that which is being demonstrated or said in retrospect to things that transpire in the real world. It's the words I'm using going over these people's heads. So if a man says, I gave you a reference and he's debating me, and since he's debating me, he's attempting to either belittle me, undermine me, or simply win the debate based on a false accusation. Because he said, I've been giving you references. I gave you a reference. And he said this. So that would make me look bad, because then he says, and all you did was give me a movie reference. I said the movie employed satire was relevant to our conversation. So since that was the case, I said, now, since y'all, and I let them go. I said, man, I'm going to let it slide. I see the chat. I love the fact that the chat was talking. So now I went to his chat and I said, anyone in the chat care to tell me the name of the article that he referenced? Since people in his chat were saying Tommy gave references. So his chat room is so intelligent. His following is so intelligent that they were saying that he used references this whole time, because Tommy said I gave you references, but I don't know if Tommy think I'm those crazy people that he normally debates. I know if this person gave me a reference or not. So I'm not going to be so much in the heat of debate. I'm going to allow a person to say they used the reference. Out their mouth, I use references. I gave you the writer. I gave you the author. I gave you the articles. And all you're using is the... I'm like, hold on, bro. I'm not going to let you sing that song for so long. You ain't give me a damn reference. You think you gave me a reference because you used to making up shit as you go. Now, it's okay for the current event hustlers to do what they do. He can talk about current events and break down whatever he want to break down, what's going on with royal weddings. And he could do all of that. But when you're dealing with Brother Polite, I'm sensitive to references. And if I say something about you, I have a reference for it to demonstrate what I mean and represent by it. So like I said, he's in love with those ratchet people he talks about. He's in love with those women he talk about. I was able to qualify what I meant through dictionary definition. Because love is predicated upon being affected, and being affected doesn't necessarily have to be something negative or positive. And I told him if he needs me to screenshot the definition, I can screenshot it and he can share it amongst his audience to make sure I'm not mangling or contorting the words, or I'm not using an acronym, which is to misappropriate dates, times, or other references to suit my cause in the middle of a diatribe. No acronyms. This is the problem when I have debates with people. Because I let you get away with a lot so you can hang yourself. And then I asked the man, did you say you gave a reference or not? Not then, he says. Not then. I didn't ask you when. Why are you saying not then? You need to pay attention to that. He knew he was in problems. He knew he had trouble because he started saying not then. Not then. I'm like, I never asked you. It wasn't a matter of time. Did you ever say it? Not then. Did you say it at all at any point in the conversation? Not then. How the hell is not then a good answer? For did you ever say it at any point in time? Yo, I'm telling you, man, I'm a force. When it comes to this stuff, I don't play games. You know, people are used to talking to people that's not sharp. And that's the problem. He's used to playing those games with these other people. I don't play those games. I'm not a part of those games. You know, I'm sorry. It don't work like that. And what he's going to do now is digress or defer our attention to the chat room and make that the point of focus, when the point of focus should simply be, did you give a reference or not? So later on, he says, no, I did not give a reference. And the reason he didn't give a reference, allegedly was because I cut him off at some point and, oh, so why did you say you did? And why is your chat room agreeing with you that you did? Because you said you did, so your chat went along with it. And then I'm looking at the chat, go brain dead, because no one had an answer. So he had to quickly save his people, and he had to quickly save his ass by saying, Polite, your chat is messed up. And I'm like, come on now. And what he don't even realize, I'm trolling him at a point when I start telling him, put my chat room up, put my chat room up. Because all I'm going to do, once he gets all his emotion fixed on that conversation, I'm going to switch him back into the original gear. So what about that article that you said you had a reference for, that you now say you didn't have a reference for? Now, some of you may be saying, man, this was all BS. This was no, you can learn from this. Don't make checks that your ass can't cash. He put in a check and it bounced. He just said, hey, I gave you all these sorts of references. I'm like, yo, bro, stop that. You ain't giving no, you ain't going to get at my movie analogy or reference when I'm telling you the reason why it's relevant, because so many people seen it across America in general. So many people seen the movie Get Out. It attested to something that transpires in our community. It wasn't as deep as give me a reference to see if that piece of stone was actually excavated by this paleontologist or this archaeologist. Or it wasn't that kind of conversation. It was, have you ever seen, or give me a scenario where this happens with black men? Because his concept is black women are the only ones, for the most part, that want to be white. That movie comes from a mixed brother. My point exactly. So he's speaking from a place that he understands. And just because he's mixed, it doesn't mean he doesn't understand the concept of black people being lost in European culture. He actually, by design, demonstrated that fact artistically by employing satire to do so. And satire deals with political and topical issues. And topical issues are issues that are relevant to society in contemporary times, or even in archaic antiquity. It's just relevant. It has a social relevancy that everybody cannot ignore. And thus you also make us laugh. It's when you exaggerate, embellish a little, criticize in some capacity something that takes place that is connected to political or topical issues. And he employed satire artistically with brilliance when he showed how a black man can be so lost in European culture, almost to suggest that he's being hypnotized, which is where the exaggeration or the embellishment comes in. And then he snaps out of it and suddenly he's the brother. So we realize he was a dark-skinned brother behaving like a Caucasoid for whatever reason. It's a facts. So come on. It is very relevant to conversation. It was a subjective type of conversation. Have you seen this? It's not like we could go in people's minds and get DNA samples from their mind. It wasn't that kind of conversation. It was about social relevancy because it was a topical issue. So I was able to say, where's that idea coming from? People are laughing about that in the movie because it's socially relevant to things that we see transpire day to day. When I said my man John behaves like this, which I got a man John that does behave like that, he didn't realize the rhetoric in that. He didn't realize what I was saying to him basically is what you're asking for is something that we bear witness to on a social scale that we experience more times and less immediately than we can, to the point of saying, hey, let me document this matter. It's been documented in movies. The opinion's been documented by other people. It's a subjective conversation. It's not objective. If it's something concrete that we can test, that we can sample, we can reference, people digging it up, that's another conversation. This was a subjective argument. So the goal for me is to say how many people can relate to my point. In that movie, there's something that's addressed that many people find funny because it's a topical issue. It's just a fact. People got to wake up, man. You know, but I know the game because he does this all the time. I know the game. You know, he runs to the chat every time. He turns to, every time we going somewhere with the conversation, he has to blame the chat room with something. Every time he getting crushed again. You know, he runs every time he's getting crushed, he runs to the chat. Yeah, he does this every time. Yeah, that's what he does. And now he got to go in a I hate polite rant or tirade because guess what? This is what he does. He loses it every time. Every time I got a bill, he loses it. You know, it's one thing to say what you want to say, but I'm gonna tell you what pisses people off. Because one thing about me, I don't gotta call him names. I ain't gotta do none of that. I don't gotta call nobody names to vindicate me or take me to the next level. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because the logic is so real. Like when I was talking about sentential calculus and P implies Q and Q implies P, and if P implies R, then Q must also imply R. And that's the law of implication. That means it's not always going to be right. You can't take that and compare it to something else and say it's going to be right, because it's not always right all the time, even though it sounds like it makes sense. Then there's the instance where it's a law of double implication reversal, meaning no matter how you change the variables, it's always going to be locked in and it's always going to be right. It was not a matter of double implication reversal. This is logic. If the Knicks beat the Bulls and the Bulls beat the Lakers, of course, many would think, well, the Knicks should be able to beat the Lakers because the Knicks beat the Bulls and the Bulls beat the Lakers. So how could a team beat the team that they're about to play and they not be able to beat them? But there's other variables that we have to consider. Somebody might be sick. Somebody might have a different matchup that favors them better. The style is going to determine who wins. And even if one team wins that game, doesn't mean that team is destined to win against that team that they won against all the time, because it's several different variables. What he said made sense. What I said made sense. And both of them stands to reason to be accurate based on the context in which he took the conversation. Based on the context and how he felt offended and the general account of what love means and represents, I said I could accept that. But based on the actual meaning of the word love, which entails affection, and the meaning of the word affection, which in essence is to be affected in any capacity, at large. He is at large. He is immensely affected by negative black women. And to be affected in the capacity in which he is affected by black women denotes affection, and affection is inclusive of love. Problem solved. This is why we know some people love to hate you, because they are deeply affected by you when they shouldn't be if they didn't love you. To love someone, or to love someone, is to be deeply affected by them. And it doesn't have to be positive, and it doesn't have to be negative. That's how real this gets. That's how real it gets. You see? You talking to somebody, oh man, he's using words to trick. Nah, I ain't tricking you, bro. He said, this is how you feel about the word. And I said, I don't mind, but don't get mad at me when I tell you what the word means that you're using. I don't mind how you feel about a word. You got the right to feel the way you feel about a word based on your miseducation, based on popular meaning of the word, based on the connotation of the word, where people only want to use it that way when it denotes something positive. But affection doesn't have to be all-inclusive or exclusive to that which is positive. And that's not my fault. And that very affection is inclusive of love. So yes, if you find yourself constantly talking about somebody or constantly being affected by somebody to the extent that you're constantly talking about them, then you're in love with them by definition. And if there's any doubt, I'll show you what these words means. If you don't find it by a dictionary reference, because I use dictionary references to use the language that I'm speaking to convey the messages I'm conveying. So ain't nobody going to tell me what I'm doing is not fair, because I'm using words properly, because we're speaking a language. And when all else fails, we're going to have to go to the reference from which these languages derive and the leading authorities to determine what these words mean, because we didn't make this language. I don't want to hear too much of how you feel about a word in the middle of a serious debate. So he's having a mental breakdown, as most people would, especially older than myself, because I'm sharp. I'm sharp, y'all. That's just what it is. No matter how much time I take off. I'm sharp. I don't play those games. It's what it is. Oh man, y'all funny. Facts. He always get in his feelings whenever there's a debate. What is he mad about? I'm not going to let him talk crazy about the people that are following me. And I'm not taking the credit for the people that may say something negative about him, which I don't see all the stuff he's talking about. Probably because some of it don't exist. Just like the reference he said he had that no longer existed when he said, well, I never gave one. So I'm like, bro, did you say you had a reference or not? Yeah. Where's the reference to the name? Where's the reference to the name of the article and the reference to the name of the person that wrote the article? Or you can give me 1 out of 2. Not you, Tommy. Don't worry about it. Let me get it from your audience. You know how antagonizing that is? Because if we would have waited for anyone in the audience to give that, and look what he did to escape. Look what he did. You know what he did to escape? He said, y'all just go out there, find some articles based on such. Nah. And you're mad at me because I don't accept that. Nah. So the 60-second clips we have to do on how he loves the black woman that he's mad about. We got to do that. And we also have to do the clip where he says he has the reference and he's been given references for articles to beat me in conversation, and then turns around and says he never gave one. All in the same conversation. Then when I asked about it, he says, not then. And I said, not then where? What does that mean? You got to know when you're dying in that motherfucker. So he need bail, abandon ship, jump ship, and start talking about the audience. He does this every time we have a debate, and he starts losing footing. He starts talking about how people are saying mean things to him in the audience. And if my audience ain't there, he starts cursing out his audience for not donating. He does this in the middle of the conversation strategically, like we're losing it. But guess what? When you watch the replay, you'll clearly see when the man is losing it. You'll clearly see when he says, I gave a reference, and you're going to see how he feels. Look at how he looks. You can see into his soul when I'm like, oh, don't worry about it, Tommy. You don't got to tell them what you say. I know he ain't say nothing. But watch how I say, yo, Tommy, don't worry about it. You don't got to say nothing. Let's get at your chat and let's see if they can reference the article that you use. Well, I ain't never give a reference. Well, if you never gave a reference, why you say you gave a reference to belittle me? Because you said I ain't give no references. And you gave the reference. And the writer. And all the shit was made up and you think I was going to go along with it. So then it becomes, oh, you want to get at my chat? I'm going to get at your chat. No, your chat is lying with you. So now all of you are fools. If you thought I was going to. And y'all been fooled because them people in the chat really thought they heard an article in their brain because he said it. It was a sad situation. I'm the GOAT, and it was a sad situation. Sad. Yo, this is why I can't debate people, because you know, after I'm done, they got to get on their channel and start trashing me, saying all sorts of negativity, but they will not talk about the actual part of the debate where things go wrong. I'm talking about the part of the debate where it went to hell for him. Because once I catch you lying, once I catch you trying to cheat, once I catch you slipping, guess what? Polite is going to use that over and over and over. You got to be strong enough mentally to keep the conversation going. But if you dare attempt to defer our conversation or our attention somewhere else, then what I'm going to do is constantly keep bringing you back to your embarrassing moment. And this is how every time I debate people in the Black community, they don't ever want to deal with me again. Because after everything I said about the channel, guess what I said? So I still wait for the reference. I told you I ain't have it. So why did you say you have it in the first place? I'm not going to let you slip until you admit you lied, nigga. You lied. You lied. Pardon the word, nigga. You lied. And you lied to make yourself look good. And then your chat room started lying for you to make you look good. And you had no problem when everybody got in on the lie until I said, name that quote. You should have put money on that. That's what I said. Put some money on that. The quote that you said you gave about an article and the person that wrote it and the person that wrote it was black. We got all these facts except for the name of the article and the name of the person. But the person was black and you gave the reference for the article. We ain't got a name. We ain't got a human being. We just got speculations. You ain't got an article, but the person who wrote it was definitely black. All right, Tommy. And you want me to continue a dialogue with you? That's not respectable. Have some integrity when we have a debate, man. Don't be making up false references and then suggesting to us what was the race of the person who wrote the article, knowing damn well ain't no damn article, so ain't no damn race. And y'all expect me to go along with that? Nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. The race of the person who wrote the article, oh, knowing damn well ain't no damn article, so ain't no damn race. Y'all expect me to go along with that? Nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Yo, I gotta watch this shit over. I gotta watch it over. This guy's horrible. This is horrible. This is horrible. Nah, it wasn't about faking no debate. I said, let's get a point of contention that I could discuss. It wasn't about no fake debates. What part of this debate was fake to any of y'all? Y'all think any part of this debate was fake? People always say this stuff. I always tell people we have to engage the community. So make sure you and I is not siding with each other since we're calling it Polite versus Tommy Sotomayor or Tommy Sotomayor versus Polite. Since we're saying Tommy Sotomayor versus Polite, we can't be here just agreeing with each other because that's false advertisement. If people come in to see a debate, let's find out where the points of contention is. And what I'll do, I'll give you some ammo that you need and you can fire away because I said I heard other streams where you talked about me representing myself when it comes to those white women. So I said, if that be the case, I'll give you some ammo and you can pull it out whenever you want. The man never pulled it out. And I'm going to tell you why he never pulled it out. Pause. I'm going to tell you why he didn't bring that content out. Because it's a lot different when you chastise somebody when they're not present as opposed to when they're present. I'm not a fool. I didn't forget when he did videos going at me for being with a white woman or standing with a white woman or taking pictures with a white woman or doing business with. I said, yo, so today was the day. I'm like, yo, go ahead. Here's some ammo. Oh, I never saw that picture before. I said, yeah, go ahead. Pull it up, brother. Pull it up in the middle of the conversation and say the things you say. Say the things you say. Say the things you said. Keep your stance. I'll keep my stance. And let's see what happens when we have the conversation. We didn't disclose exactly what the conversation would be about. We just wanted to get enough context so we know how to name it. So we're supposed to talk about integration. And he was supposed to put me on fire. I would believe because I've heard things he said about me in the past when certain pictures went up. So I was prepared mentally. None of that is fake. The only thing we did was decide on what subject matter would be, and that was it. That ain't fake. That's just to say, let's make sure we have points of interest so we're not talking about what? The damn chat room all day. See? Simple stuff. But you know, this is who we dealing with. I ain't worried about his means, man. The debate is on this channel. Yeah, man, bring the people you think is worthy. But what you can't do in a debate is one, tell me something is illogical. Once you start talking to me like what I'm saying is illogical, you better be prepared. Because I can break it down mathematically why what I said is logical. I can give you the law of the disjunctive inference, the law of the disjunctive inference, the law of the contrapositive, the law of implication, the law of double implication reversal, the law of contradiction. These are all mathematically demonstrated through sentential calculus. All mathematically demonstrated. If you use two is's and an and and an or in a sentence, what does that mean? I got it down to a science. Doesn't mean I'm perfect, but there's certain things you cannot say to me and me not go and my mental Rolodex bow. I know what you just did. And I know the time to get you on it. Hold on, Tommy. Let me talk to the chat real quick. He sat there and he listened. And then he realized, because he caught on slow, he realized, man, this is making me look bad. No one can name the references I said that I had because I didn't name no references. By the time he realized what was going on, he made it a conversation about the chat rooms. When I went for his chat room, I was going for him. He just doesn't catch this because his debate etiquette ain't there. He used to dealing with a different breed of people. I'm trolling him when I'm talking. Oh, hold on, Tommy, you good. You're safe. I put him to sleep. Let me talk to your chat room. Not you, Tommy, you good. Let me talk to your chat room about the references that you gave. Okay. Now, how silly is that, Tommy? You ain't give no damn references. You know, Martin, Tommy, you ain't got no damn job, man. Tommy, you ain't got no references, man. You ain't got no damn references, Tommy. How the hell you gonna wait for me to talk to your chat room about the references you came up with? And you ain't had no references from day one. It's okay. He could talk to me about the big words. It's clear he didn't understand them because he wouldn't have found himself in X amount of traps. I know when someone's just shaking their head, yeah, acting like they understand what I'm saying. Don't do that in the debate. Do not do that in the debate. Do not, just ask, what does that mean? Now, I'm a convict. I'm using big words. I'm also using mathematics. I guess there's big mathematics too, right? I'm using, don't say I'm using big words because it denotes a certain level of stupidity when someone complains that you're using big words. Because there's small words that's also considered big words to people, you know, because there's small words that's not commonly used in our community as well. And they get misinterpreted and misconstrued as big words. See? When I said satire, he should have not even had a conversation, but he's going to debate me, so now I had to break down satire. But when I said topical issues, I said, oh man, he probably don't know what topical means because he's still arguing with me. You see how this works? Every time I use one word, I use another word to define a word. He don't know the word I'm using to define that word. Yo, Ned, I'm going to tell you what happened. Now, real quick, we're debating. And so his thing was, he switched what the debate was about. I love the fact that this is all recorded. He switched what the debate was about. I always go with it when people switch because they think it's going to make it better. But what they don't realize is one lie deserves another lie, which deserves another lie. One lie will beget another lie, which will beget another lie. Because I pay attention to the conversation and I got a crazy memory, I know when you're switching the subject matter. And all I'm going to do once I know it's recorded, because one thing I've learned, if you argue with a fool, always keep it recorded. Or two, always have the conversation amongst many. Or three is the best. Guess what three is? The combination of 1 and 2. Have it recorded and have the conversation in front of many. Because now all I got to do is go back and reference every time you lied during the conversation. I can reference when you change your question. And then I can show it. Look, he changed the question. And all you're going to do is call me names. Get at me because I use big words, but you're not going to address the elephant in the room, which was you keep switching conversation whenever you get caught out there. And you keep blaming the chat whenever you get caught out there. And once I know your tactics, because I dealt with him long enough, I know exactly when he's going to explode. And I decide if Tommy's going to explode this conversation or if he's not. It was my decision to decide. Because I'm working him. I'm cooking him. Let me show you how I cooked him. Let me show you how I cooked him. So funny. Let me show you real quick. Yeah, we're going to still go out. Let me show you how I cooked them. I read the text. You see how good I am? I know you came down here to see that. Now that you're here and I got you, hold on, listen to me, please. This is important. And let me get a watermelon while you're at it. So let me get a piece of watermelon. So let me show you how I get this guy. He changed the narrative to this conversation is about Black women who want to be like mixed women. And have you ever seen a Black guy want to do that? So, you know, naturally, I want to be facetious and say what Black men want to be like mixed women, but I didn't do that. I let him keep talking. So he says, no, we're talking about have Black men ever shown us that they want to be like another mixed man, like how these Black women want to be like this mixed woman. Well, first of all, I had to make it clear, I'm not making no generalizations. I never said that he said, you've been saying all Black women, you've been generalized. I said, that's not true. I've been talking about the women, definite article. See, memory sharp. Talking about the women. That was the topic of discussion, not all Black women. And so since there was a discrepancy, I'm glad you verbalized or vocalized your discrepancy. I'm almost saying everything I'm saying right now verbatim. And since there was a discrepancy, I am glad. That's how I stopped that insanity. It's all right if you misunderstood something I said. And now that it's been brought to my attention, let me give you clarity. I am not talking about all black women. So whether you thought I was or not, I made it clear for the record. I was under the pretense this whole time I was conducting this diatribe that I was not making a generalization. Glad you said that. Somebody else might have been thinking that too. Hard to debate somebody who talk like that and articulate themselves. Now, the question then becomes, are we talking about mixed people who want to be white or mixed people that want to be black in order for me to answer your question? He said, we're talking about mixed people. He had to think about it. Why is he asking this? Because his mind's going to go frantic. One, his mind is going to ask, why is he asking me this? He must have got a reason. Two, his mind is going to then say, well, I got to stick with what would make sense to say. The fact he's taking so long to think, I know I got him on the ropes. Because it shouldn't be something to think about. You're the one that asked the question. You should know what your question is about. The fact you're thinking means I got you scary. You're scary. So I'm like, oh, that's like when you're playing ball, you see a person's legs trembling, you know they're afraid they're going to get embarrassed because this person got a handle and been scoring on them, laying up on them, and making them look bad. So as a killer, when I smell blood, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take you in deep water and dribble and bring it back because I know you shook. So when I see a person thinking about something that they shouldn't have to think about because this is what you postulated before me, then I know, oh, it's about to end. This program is about to end because he was a lot more sharper at the beginning. Guess what I look like I was doing at the beginning? I look like I'm not listening. I'm like this. Where's you eating your food, brother? No, I find my time and I do it. I put him to sleep. He think I ain't listening. He don't realize this is part of the strategy. He think he's going to slip little things in there and I'm not paying attention because I put people to sleep. Because a tape recorder cannot record and play at the same time. So I got to be quiet to hear what he's saying so I can pick his argument apart. He didn't know the debate was on when I was eating. He thought I went to sleep. Okay. So now I say, is this about, and y'all should learn this for debate purposes, is this a conversation about black people want to be like mixed people that want to be white? See, now I'm getting so specific about what we're talking about. He had to think about what the hell he was talking about. Because this is his question. I'm making more sense out of this nonsense. Says it's about mixed people who want to be white and the black people that won't follow. Oh, so basically we're talking about black people who want to be white. See how logic goes? Little does he realize that's P implies Q, Q implies P, P implies R, so R must imply P, R must imply Q. Doesn't realize. Now it's a matter of, is this going to make sense all of the time or only on certain instances? Is this the law of implication or double implication reverse? This was what I got to go through every time. This is a syllogism. Syllogistically speaking, we have two premises and a conclusion. Each subject and predicate is accompanied by each other per each sentence. With that, we need two predicates, two subjects, one conclusion. When we got that together, now we need to know if it's exclamatory or declarative or interrogative statement. I got to go through all these different things before I answer this question because I'm like this. I'm sizing up the whole conversation because this is what I do. This is why I don't be debating Negroes, because I really put effort into strategy in order to communicate my thoughts, to make sure I'm on point, I'm tactful. So you say we talking about black people who want to be like mixed people. My question is, do these mixed people want to be white or do they want to be black? The reason why I need to know that, because I need to understand the black people that want to be like them. So do black people want to be like mixed people who want to be black? That would have been weird, right? But if black people want to be like mixed people, according to him, that want to be white, then what they're interested in is the privilege more so than the race. Now, if you say black people want to be like white people, then they're interested in being the race and all the other things inclusive because they may not even like the way they look. Plus, they also want the privilege and so forth and so on. But if a black person wants to be like a white, like a mixed person that leans towards white, that is accepted in culture, then they're more interested in privilege, which is where that conversation would have went. And I would have had him decode his own rationale. But he couldn't endure long enough because he was in deep waters from the time he realized the concept he put forth. I made it deeper than he knew it was, because to assert something like that transcends race is more about privilege. Facts. Because why on earth would a person want to be like someone to get to the other race when they could just want to be like that race directly? They say they want to come through and become friends with the mixed person so they can hang out with the people that's part of their white privilege. He's saying they want to be like the mixed person. So, so these people don't want to be white. They want to be mixed. So that means they still like being black to some extent. If this is your point, black people still like being black. But your point early on is black people want to be white. And now you're telling me about black people who want to be mixed. Which I could only conclude two different things from that. Because a black person that wants to be mixed is someone who's more interested in the privileges, but still wants to keep some portion of their identity intact. But a black person that wants to be white, they're suffering from something totally different. I would not put them in the same category. But he don't think that far. He just says things. He says things. Yo, her weed don't smell good. This is your conversation. Her weed don't smell good. And when I say, yo, bro, you don't open me up to a whole new world. He was so proud of himself. And I said, you open me up to a whole new world. So watch the next thing he did, which is where the explosion comes. He said he was giving me references to that same conversation I was just having with him in the first place, which of course he didn't. He said he got the article. He then gave me articles. He then gave me the writers. He said all this crap. I said, interesting. And I gave the movie. And I told him why I gave the movie. Because this is subjective. It's not objective. It's not something we can dig up. It's not something we can test. We can't get a pH test on it. We can't drop something and tell if it's acidic or liquid or base. It's not that. This is subjective in meaning. It's what I interpret. And that interpretation is going to be a culmination of different experiences I had immediately associated with media and certain education or input given by other people, channels, or venues. It's subjective. So because it's subjective, I got the right to reference a movie. He endeavors to belittle me because I use a movie. But I can stand on why I use a movie because the movie employed satire. And guess what? The director is mixed. That was not by accident why I used the movie. The director is mixed. And he spoke to something that we all can attest to, hence the reason we laughed. And that's why the key word is satire, because he exaggerated or embellished on a political or topical issue such as race in respect to black people, particularly men in this instance, who lose themselves for whatever reason in the diaspora due to indulging in too much white culture day to day. And it's almost as though they're hypnotized. But if you can get through to them, you will see the contrast and they will become completely black all over again. Or they have instances in time where they become black all over again. And then they revert back to the white man stuff. It was actually accurate. But I realized satire was over the head and topical was over the head. So here it goes. This was the problem. I let all of this go down. I let it all go down. And then I say, yo, Tommy, hold on. Let me actually chat something. No, you good, Tommy. You good. I want to actually people in your chat something. Because the people in chat now, they were like, Tommy done gave references. Tommy done gave references. I've been seeing it. Tommy, right, he gave references. This nigga used a movie. I'm watching it, right? I said, this is cute. Because I let enough time go by for the guy to think I was going to let him get away with that. You can never say the word reference to me and think I'm not going to turn around. What's the name of the author? What's his background? You know me. I talk about researching the authors. I would know if I got an author's name. If he says an article, I've been here before with Tommy when he came up with fraudulent information. So I want the name of the article. So I would know if you gave me an article. So for him to be so boastful to say, hey, I gave references and I gave you writers and you just gave me a movie. And doesn't even realize the fact that I picked amongst all people a person that was mixed race, that was director. He don't even see how many layers. Because if I would have kept going, you would have saw why I picked him and how he was my reference for the very thing that he was suggesting. To the contrapositive, I would have beat him in that if he didn't have a mental breakdown. If he didn't have a mental breakdown, I would have spoke to that director's personal accounts of him dealing with biracial, mixed race issues, integration issues. But first, my segue was the movie, so he can make fun of me for having a movie reference. I got layers to my conversation. People can't even survive it because they start losing it before I get to the deep of it. Because if you let me go, I was gonna cut them deep. Like, yo, hold on. Now, the article that you're looking for, or the interview that I can give you, is from the very director that is mixed. Now, one thing that he got right was that the director was mixed. I said, that's very good for Tommy. But I think he realized that was very bad because he probably sensed, then if this guy just randomly picked somebody that's mixed, that did a movie, that everyone could identify with, that used satire to demonstrate his point, and the satire that was employed was about topical issues and political issues associated with race, particularly in the case of people losing themselves when they get into European culture. And it happens to be men because his conversation was, this only happens to women. I'm sure he had a breakdown at some point and said to himself, this nigga is a fucking nut. And he's put too much thought into this conversation in too little time. I'm sure, because he's been here before with me, where he starts realizing, you ever see a comedian do a joke, and later on, 10 minutes later, the joke comes back out of nowhere. And 15 minutes later, the joke comes back out of nowhere. And when he closes the show, the damn first joke still comes back out of nowhere. That's how I am when it comes to this information. The joke is on people because they think I ain't listening. And then at some point in the conversation, you realize it's all coming full service. This dude ain't just mentioned the movie for no reason. The director of the movie was actually mixed. It actually happens to be a man. And I was saying men don't experience it. What the hell is coming next? So, watch this. I say, yo, Tommy, don't worry about it. I just want to talk to your chat real quick. You know, his ego. Yeah, talk to my chat. He sits there and he listens to me ask the chat. So, yeah, y'all said that Tommy's been giving references, and I only gave a movie reference. Now, mind you, I had a reference that was going to come from the director, him being a mixed race child. It was going to be very relevant to conversation. But first, I segue with the movie because I know people are so ignorant, they will belittle me because I use a movie reference, and I had the right to because it was subjective, the conversation, not objective. But anyway, I say, yo, since y'all say he's been giving me references and gave me articles and gave me the author, since all of you are agreeing with him because Tommy said this, I'll wait. Can anyone in your chat room, Tommy, I'm waiting for you. No, not you, Tommy. Calm down, Tommy. Just a chat. I'll wait for somebody in your chat room to give me the name of the article that you referenced, that you said you referenced, or even the name of the author. Look how silly Tommy is. He sat there and he waited for his people to give him something he said he gave that he himself know he didn't. He eventually snapped out of it and realized he's not attacking my audience. He's attacking me because I don't care about the audience stuff like that. He realized this is not an attack against the audience. Oh, shit. I'm looking stupid as this goes down because every minute that goes past that no one writes the name of the article and no one writes the name of the author, it starts becoming clear that I never gave an article or an author, but I sure did say I did. Polite's playing me. So I get you on so many layers, I couldn't even get to my point of reference for the director. And that's what makes me upset out of everything because I had more. But it's so many layers people don't know, man. It's gotta be reading too much, man. People who really think they can appreciate the conversation. This was more than some chat room conversation or chat room argument. And this is why I can't even deal with brothers and sisters in the community like that when it comes to this. Yeah, he got very short attention span. Yeah, he's wild. Yeah, it's watermelon. It's wild, man. Tommy definitely started doing the running, man. Yeah, he just rather be content. He in love with those women. I proved it. I actually proved that Tommy Sotomayor is in love with black women today. The black woman he so-called hates. And that's why it's a thin line between hate and love, because hate is inclusive of affection. And affection, let me show y'all something. Let me do this. Let me show y'all something. Let's do this. I'm gonna share the screen and we close out with this. Let me show you. I don't make this stuff up. Okay. Let's look at this word love. Let me show you. I don't make this stuff up. Okay. Now look at this. Look at this for me. An intense feeling of deep affection. That's love. An intense feeling of deep affection. Let's look up the word affection. Let's go ahead where it says, okay, gentle feeling of fondness or liking, right? Okay, the act or process of affecting or being affected, which makes sense. Hence the word affection. Think about it. The word affect is in there. So it's the act or process of affecting or being affected. Okay, a mental state, an emotion, a condition of disease. Okay, affection of the skin. I know you're thinking of infection. Okay, so process of affecting or being affected. Now, if we go to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary, you're going to see they put being deeply affected. So we could, yeah, I mean, this is so crazy. So it's an intense feeling of deeply being affected. So it makes sense if you go to Merriam-Webster dictionary, because it says being deeply affected is one of the definitions. But it makes sense because even here it's corroborated because they use the word deep here, affection. And we know affection is what? The process of affecting or being affected. It's legal. So Tommy is so affected deeply by the black women that he says he loathes, that it stands to reason he actually loves them because he's deeply affected by them. Not mildly, but deeply affected by them. I've heard what he said about his mother. I don't like it. He is deeply affected by his mother. And so I know he loves his mother because he's deeply affected by it. Anytime you're deeply affected by anyone, it means you have a certain level of love for them, because you wouldn't get to the deep part, which is always focused when you're talking about affection. Okay? Yeah. So he loves those women. No, I don't love them. Yeah, you love them. You're wrong. I just prove I'm right. Unless you're going to say you're not deeply affected. And then we're going to go into the word deep to make sure. And we're going to use some synonyms just in case. We want to make sure we don't make no mistakes about what's taking place so we can make sure we are absolutely right. And this is how you deal with people. Polite. By your logic, the Nazis love the Jews. Yes, why not? If they are deeply affected, I don't know what's wrong with people. And this is what I'm saying. I don't get it. And the reason why I don't get it because people don't get it. If I show you where the reference is coming from, and this is what the words mean, this is called cognitive dissonance. You're in conflict with the truth versus how you want to feel. You want to feel like you know what the word love means. But if I show you it's about deep affection, and then we look up the word affection, and we see the process of being affected. So if you are deeply affected by someone, the fact that you are deeply affected by them tells you there's some love there. And that's why they say it's a thin line between love and hate. Because hatred is about being deeply affected too. Any form of deep affection, any type of you being affected by someone deeply or greatly or immensely, means by definition, you love them. You have love for them. They may love you. I don't know. But if someone doesn't deeply affect you, then you have no love for them. You have no concern for them. See? Second, you start getting all emotional about stuff, or you go on rants so people know you as the guy that's always talking about black women, that means you love those women because you're deeply affected by them. No one said it had to be positive. So why are you saying these things, mister? The guy that's here in the chat, so that means the Jews, the Nazis love the Jews. Yeah, they were deeply affected by them. Did you not hear the definition? All you got to do is think about it. Many times people say they hate each other, they actually love each other, or they used to love each other, now they hate each other because we find that they're one and the same, just varying in degrees on the pole. There's no opposites. It's a matter of polarity. It's a matter of polarity. Take time out to investigate these things before you disagree with people that know better. Yeah, I was debating. Thank you, bro. Far East. Thank you, Far East. I wasn't paying attention to the chat. I was busy debating. Yeah. Send a black man to me for me to debate them and watch how they just lose their mind and emotion. I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm having a good time. I'm picking you apart because I know your weakness. Your weakness is to be proven wrong before these people that you don't know. Your weakness is if somebody come in the chat and say some things that you don't like, it deters you. Your weakness is, or your scapegoat is, if you realize you're getting defeated, you start going to defer our attention to the chat room. And hopefully this thing will buy. And guess what I do? I'll entertain it. No, not my chat. Yeah, your chat. Not my chat. Yeah, your chat. Not my chat. Yeah, your chat. Oh, yeah, by the way, brother, when we done, can you give us the name of that article that you said you had the name of? The chat. Oh, not my chat, your chat. Not my chat, your chat. Yeah, brother, by the time you're done, you think you could give us the name of the author of the person that wrote the article? I know you said they're black. At least we got that much information. Not that chat, your chat. Come on, Tommy, you do this all the time. Yo, how you don't see the setup? He goes through this all the time with me. I pick him apart, and then I stay on the part where he got picked apart at because he think he's slick. He think he gonna say something that's gonna have me so bedazzled that I ain't gonna remember where you was off at. No, bro, we're gonna revisit right where you was off at. We're gonna continue this conversation right where you messed up until you acknowledge that you messed up, acknowledge that you lied, acknowledge that you was trying to be slick. Pardon the word, try, attempt to be slick. Did you say that at any point in time, Tommy? Not then. What do you mean by not then? That has to hurt. That's like I'm talking to a child now. Like, yo, hold on. Now the new question is, what do you mean by not then? I asked you if you said this at any time in our conversation, and you said not then. I'm tripping. I got the right to pick you apart when you start doing that. This is the debate. This is when you can't keep your arms up because we're in the 8th round. And you were swinging so hard. You thought I was just eating, not paying attention. You were swinging so hard, you thought I wouldn't be paying attention to you. I told you at one point or the other, I will turn up on you. You better be prepared for the storm. All you got to do is just do right by the conversation. And don't get overwhelmed when it starts getting tricky. Don't go J.R. Smith on us and start running damn near to the half-court line because a few seconds left and you're going frantic because the ball's in your hand. What do I do? What do I do? Don't get frantic on us now. He got blocked for asking for the article. Jamila Womack. That's funny. Man, I go on whoever's podcast, if they sensible, practical, if it's a nice forum, people value information, or if I'm just feeling in a mood where I'm like, you know what, this person's always talking crazy. Let me play with it if I got some free time. It's a number of different things. It depends, you know. But like I said, Black people are gonna do the name calling and all that crazy talk when they get defeated mentally. But they won't address the facts of the matter. Now, I can see if I was making up this article thing. I have to fall back. I could see if I didn't switch the subject matter and act like I didn't. I have to fall back. Well, all of this is recorded. Well, what are we gonna do with that? What are we gonna do with that? The man is pissed off for all the wrong reasons. You're mad that you attempted to change the narrative, and I allowed you to do so. And the narrative that you changed to was worse than the original one that you had. You was gonna lose in any one of the two, but you lost that one. So now the conversation has to be about, you know what he wanted to do, you know what he was going to do, you know what we discussed. But that doesn't change the fact you lied, Tommy. You lied. And not only did you lie, everybody else started lying with you because they believed in you until I asked them, since y'all know this article he beat me up with, what's the name of it? Since y'all know the author that wrote the article, what's the name of the author? Because he said he's black. Guess what, guys? When he said he gave the reference, he didn't. And if he didn't, what are y'all agreeing to? Y'all lying too. How he get y'all to be so dumb? And I hate to say the word dumb to people, but that's just dumb. You guys are saying he's winning an argument based on articles that he referenced and based on the author of the article that he referenced that happens to be black. And he never even mentioned an actual article, title, or name, and then comes out his mouth and says it. I never mentioned one, but then comes out his mouth and says, at what time you talking about? Which one that I mentioned? Then it also comes out his mouth, says he gave an article. How can all three be possible? How could all three be possible? And you want me to talk about something else, Tommy? No, I'm gonna talk about what you're lying about. That's how debate works. Catch your ass lying. If this was a political debate and we was out here running for president, once we catch your ass in one of those scandals, we gonna burn that shit down to the ground. We gonna come up with that every day. We got a debate. We gonna deal with it, and you better be able to deal with it too, and just say, man, it's true. Yeah, you got to go back and watch the debate. You'll love it. Fired up. Facts. He's in his chat room, man. People aren't donating. That's that man's business. You know, this is what he on. This is what he does. You know, I don't be on YouTube too much, but when I'm on here, I get it in. So again, I thank y'all very much for a great time. It's 12 midnight. Wow. I didn't even know. I thank y'all for a good time. I had a full day. Played ball with my baby girl. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, brother_POLIGHT. If you're interested in the mentorship program, make sure you go to brotherpolite45 @gmail.com, brother, pride, optimism, love, integrity, gallant, honesty, and trust. The number is 45 @gmail.com. And for the Instagram, go to brother_POLIGHT. It's fun. I like debating, man. I have a good time debating. It's mad fun. Just sad because people don't want to be your friend after. The man called me up to do the damn debate. I said, I'm down. Once I come back from the museum with my daughter, I was en route to go into the museum. I said, I'll come back, watch the game, and I have to cook for the family. And I made sure I didn't jump on until I finished cooking, which was actually at 8:11. I finished cooking officially, 8:11, 8:10. And I got on at about 8:12 or 8:15 when we started the stream. No doubt. Thanks for following all the platforms. I am Finnessy. Yeah. It always get emotional when I deal with him, man. It's okay, he an emotional being. I don't mind. If you like someone talking about your daughter, but your niggas talking about Tommy's. Let me tell you something. First of all, if someone's talking bad about someone's daughter, that don't mean that that's my supporters. Because if that was my supporters, when I'm doing streams, they would be blurting that crap out when he's not on it. That's just not it. So chill out with that foolishness. This is what he has to say to drive people crazy. And then when we look into the chat room, we look for it, we don't see it. They're out to destroy my life. They're out to kill me. They're out to, bro, you on YouTube too long if you feeling like that, man. Take a vacation so you can handle this. Because this is the virtual world. People are going to say bad things while you're talking. It happens. You got to deal with it if you're going to be on these platforms. They're not all just looking to destroy your life. Some of them just want to get in your head. They feel offended by you, so they want to offend you too. And they feel like they're winning every time you do that. Word to the wise and the unwise. Don't identify with the trolling, and it will subside after a certain point. You're entitled to a certain amount of trolls because you have a certain amount of viewers. It comes with the territory. You can't keep acting like you're new to this. It's not going to stop. I don't like people saying bad things about people's children, but to switch it, yeah, you don't have a problem with them speaking bad about me. This is your reason why it makes sense for your chat room to stay up and mine's to stay down, because mine's is all bad and yours is all good, right? No, you're not going to belittle the people who don't want to go on your platform, who'd rather be on my platform. You're not going to belittle them and tell them they can't exchange ideas and interact with each other because you're emotional about people attacking you. And all you have to do is say polite, there's a person by the name of such and such. I just saw something there. Please block them. Because I blocked somebody during the course of the program when he mentioned something. You don't like the booty hole stuff and everything. After a while, start wondering, why is he driving you so crazy? If that's not what you're about, leave it alone, brother. Yeah, none of us seen any of the comments he claimed. And guess what? When the stream's over, I'm going to take the time out to look at these comments in the chat. And let's see if we see any of the comments that he claims, especially when he claims it's going down. Let's see it. Because these comments stay here and they're synchronized with the conversation. And you'll see how much game Son got, because he does this every time this conversation. He got mad game. Mad game. all to avoid the fact you lied about references, dog. Like, come on, bro. You ain't got to start making it a conversation about chat. Yeah, you caught me slipping, P, and laugh, man. We can laugh. You wouldn't even look that bad if you laughed about it. Like, yeah, you caught me slipping. Slip of the tongue. I said I did and I didn't. And then I saw it might work to my advantage. I thought you didn't realize it, so I kept pushing it. And then, damn, when I realized you realized, I got caught. Say that. You see, you laugh it off. You shrug your shoulders. You're still a dirtbag for it, but, you know, we can laugh and move forward because there's nothing I can do because you admitted to it. So what I'm going to do, beat a dead horse. All right, y'all. So I'm out of here. Peace, family. Oh, let's definitely review the playback. We should do a whole video on the playback. I'm going to get the time markets. We're going to have a good time. In fact, no matter what I do, the next time I get on YouTube, we're going to play some of this back and enjoy ourselves. And you know what I feel like doing too? I feel like playing back several people's videos who say stupid things while I'm debating them, just to show you like, yo, it don't be me. Maybe I should do some Polite's greatest hits and just let it burn so people can see, like, look, it don't be me. When they start trolling me for months after, that's because it was me, actually. Let me take it back. It was the debate, and they play it back in their mind because they like, okay, I'm popular, people listening to me. And man, this guy didn't talk about my family. He didn't call me a bunch of names. He stuck with the subject matter, and that was his point of contention. No one can say my point of contention was anything outside of the subject matter. And you're telling me where your insecurities are. When you say, oh, he's using big words, so I know that bothers you. And when I know that bothers you, I give you more. Debate, strategy. Robert's Rules of Conduct. I tell you how the books to read to get into this. I tell you Sentential Calculus. I tell you how to build your mind and your conversation to the point, if you want to debate people and you don't want to get caught out there, because I do it just so I can speak more logically and be more rational and less emotion that demonstrates a lack of discipline. Emotion is okay. The emotion that demonstrates a lack of discipline when confronted with adversity is not okay. For debate's sake. Might be okay for something else. It's not okay for debate's sake. Facts. He was using a lie to cover up a lie. Okay, y'all. You can't have a moderator for Tommy, man. Because when he get caught out there lying, what are you gonna do? He wants the chat room in there so he can always divert. That's why I said we talk. Anytime we talk again, no chat room there. That's fair. But you're not going to create this concept that people that follow me will come to the conclusion that they have to speak in such a grotesque, negative manner towards you. And you're not going to accredit that to me. So we got to shut your people down. Who said those are my people? I don't even know these people that you're talking about. And I haven't even seen those comments that you make mention of. And the people in my chat are saying they don't see those comments either. But he's actually beefing like they exist. And I've been here before where I replayed all the chat comments, and my family and I both read each comment, and we saw none of them existed that he said did. But he portrayed real anger about the comments that didn't exist. So I realized what I'm dealing with. So when I come into it this time, I really won't be beguiled by this stuff. I just sit there and say, man, I hope he's telling the truth this time because he lied last time. And in the middle of him lying about that last time, he also lied about the references and he lied about what his question was. So, yeah, that wasn't my question. My question was, okay, we'll see. You're going to put the Puff Daddy remix on it. I didn't say that. I said this. We'll see if you're lying. You can call me a bunch of names all you want, but what you won't do is debate me and misappropriate dates, times, or occurrences. Be they relevant to conversation or historically relevant, doesn't matter. That misappropriation will be dealt with. I don't care about what's going on in your personal life. I don't want to talk about your daughter or daughters. I don't want to talk about your wife or your wives or your girlfriends. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in what we came here to debate about. And if you mess up in the middle of debate, I'm on you. I'm on your heels. I'm on your neck. Pause. Boots on your neck. That it works. Salute, love you all. Thank you for chiming in. Yeah. You know, the more I understand about the person that I'm about to debate, the more I understand the person I'm about to debate, the easier it is to pick them apart. Easy. Definitely a great debate. It was fun. You know what's sad? The people in Tommy's chat room won't even apologize for agreeing or cooperating his lie. It's like, no, don't talk to me about nothing else but the fact that you guys were going along with a lie, either on purpose to be deceptive, or you just were so idiotic you just presume he must be telling the truth. And we so interested in tearing down Polite and making him look stupid and calling me stupid, calling me an idiot, calling me a jackass. Look at this dumbass. See, they said all of that. And I said, who's the dumbass? You said that he referenced something he never said. And you think I'm going to be affected by you calling me names? The only idiot is the one taking on a reference that didn't even exist and stressing how black the person was that wrote the article. I'm like looking at these people in the comment section like, yo, they're just as crazy as he is. And the fact that you got people saying your people talk about his kids, I don't know nobody that's talking about his children. So when you say your people, you mean the people who come in the chat room? That means everybody that comes into my chat room is my people. That's how I know he's dealing with some real people that are suffering from mental health. Because the person's in my chat doesn't make them my people. It makes them people who wanted to come view. Because guess what? If someone comes into Tommy's chat and disrespects him, I'm sure y'all say that's not Tommy's people because he's disrespecting Tommy. So why can't the same person come into my chat and disrespect Tommy? How come they got to be my people because they're on my chat, but they're on his channel, he'll block them? So when they're on his channel, is it his people because they was on his channel and he had to block them? Nonetheless, that still makes them his people. See, the logic of the people that follow this guy, they have the same logic he be having. So if someone's on the chat, that's your people. So when they're on your chat, Tommy, are they your people even though you got to block them? Because I block them all the time when they come to my chat. So when they come to my chat, they're my people. When they go to your chat, they're not your people. See how convenient that argument is? But that's for people suffering from a psychosis. There's something going on up there to make you feel like these polite people saying this. The whole time I've been dealing with you for the last year and change. Was it my people bothering you? No, it wasn't until I started to debate you today that it became my people saying these things. But these are people you were in conflict with the whole time who come on your channel. Various different names, various different accounts. Those are not my people when they're on your channel. By your logic, those are your people when they're on your channel because whoever's on whoever's channel is their people. See how silly that idea is? You see how silly that notion is? So, Rulia Farley, though, the whole concept, well, we'll get you out of here for being slow. This is too slow. You got to speed up and we can get you out of here. Too slow. And that's what I said. But he's so emotional. I told him, I said, bro, you use so much vulgarity. And the way you cast your negative views about other brothers and sisters, particularly sisters, the way you disrespect the people if they don't give you X amount of bread, it's like you're gonna bring those type of mentalities that disagree with you as you bring the mentalities that agree with you. Because the type of people that disagree with you will be similar to the way you think and talk. They will curse a lot too. They will say vile, disgusting, derogatory things with disregard to your family too. Because when you talk about these black women the way you do, these people are attached to families too. They got family members that love these black women that you showcase so often. And if you realize that these black women have a problem that you're talking about, you shouldn't treat people with a problem like that. But you certainly do, despite the fact that that's someone's daughter, despite the fact that that's someone's sister, despite the fact that someone's lover, despite the fact that's just a woman in general. So, with the same hurt and anguish you give them or you spew at them, people feel like they should do that and maybe even more. And still, that doesn't make people licensed to say something bad about your children. But certainly, you must understand that the way you vehemently disagree with people will inevitably warrant or impel people of the same kind of mentality to speak about you in the same manner in which you speak about others because you disagree with their lifestyle or approach. That's the law of attraction. I'm not saying your children should be talked about. I'm just saying that's what you're going to attract in the form of negativity, the way people talk about you. Because you talk about people like that, not their children. He's a grown man. You should know this by now, Tommy. You should know this by now. Mhm. All right, y'all. Talk to you later. Appreciate you. Love you. Gonna get back into my world of good food. I'm about to be up and get the second dish. See the family keep coming downstairs, taking food and going upstairs. I keep hearing all the different rooms. The doors keep closing. Do, 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 do. I make sure I got some food left. Peace to the family. Love y'all so much.